right, I want to bring in Matt Carpenter from FRC Action very quickly as we wrap up today's program, because it's interesting that we're seeing movement away from the Biden administration, from President Biden himself. That a lot of his policies, the polling has reflected that there's a movement away. The latest national poll by NBC News shows President Biden's approval rating dropping to its lowest level since he took office. And strong majorities of all voters disapprove of his handling of foreign policy, among other areas. So the landscape has changed quite a bit ahead of the 2024 presidential election. What does that mean going forward? Well, here to give us the latest on this, Matt Carpenter, Director of FRC Action. Matt, welcome back to Washington Watch. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Tony.
So what jumped out at you about this the latest poll on the approval rating of President Biden?
So, Tony, this is a remarkable poll from NBC News. Recently came out that showed Biden at, I think it was the lowest mark that this poll has ever had for this president in terms of job approval at 40%. But what is really poignant in this data when you start looking at it is President Biden's performance in a hypothetical matchup against former President Donald Trump against Gen Z and millennial voters. Now, this is a demographic that President Biden won in the 2020 election. The last time he faced President Trump, 60% to 36%. Now, this NBC poll has again, it's a hypothetical matchup. A lot of pollsters are starting to move in this direction of reading the tea leaves and figuring out in 49 weeks from now, who's going to be on the ballot. And in a hypothetical matchup, once again, between the 46th and 45th president, they show President Trump actually winning by 4 points. Now, this is within the poll's margin of error of 6 points. But still, that's a 20-point swing among voters who are trying to get a foothold to start their lives. They're trying to start families. They're trying to buy houses. And so I think they're looking around at the options available to them, and they're souring on the Biden administration. Is
a lot of that being driven by the economy, the economic situation?
It is primarily driven by the economic situation. Housing, you look at mortgage rates, they're on the rise. You look at inflation, I think it's 18% up. I could be wrong on that. But across the board, some of these basic economic benchmarks that young people are hoping to do, they're hoping to get out there and start a family. They're hoping to get married. They're hoping to buy a home and get a good paying job. And it's just becoming harder and harder for them.
Hard to do in this economy. Matt Carpenter, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Tony.